guys, it's been a decent week on the market. I managed to have a good percentage gain of around 25%, and it was on a Friday, and I'd had a couple of setups in mind. I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed because I had a lot of options to choose from, and I was finding it difficult to narrow it down to which one was the most premium, if any. And after kind of looking at the charts a bit closer, I decided on one, which was a good choice, but also the other two that I was looking at also went, so I did miss out on those, but I didn't want to take more than one trade at the same time. But good to know I'm on the right track with the setups. So I'm going to review the trade that I took, and also just talk a little bit about where I'm at with the learning process. So I think I've got the foundations of day trading, penny stocks, and I've got my setups at the moment. Hopefully I can build some more setups into that over time. But the next bit of learning for me is trying to get in tune with the flow of the market, what's working and what's not working. For example, recently my brother, who's a day trader, highlighted to me that actually a lot of the big movers, they're having a big bounce on day 2, which is messing up sort of any first green day bounce or third day surge kind of setup. So he highlighted that to me, but still I'm not thinking quick enough to think, well, if things are bouncing on day 2, what's the next one to go? I'm not really that sharp yet, so I think that's the next thing for me to start building on. I am looking at it, but I need to try and use it to my advantage, because if I can know what's working and what's not, then I'm one step ahead of the game to find the next stock that's going to move in a particular way. So let's go into the trade that I took. I'm going to go to the chart. So the ticker was WLDS, and this is the daily chart over here, and it's gapped up on high volume. Volume is here, and it's gone from about $1 up to highs on its first day of $10.90, and it's then closed down here at around $7. And then it's gone on to have another green day and then another green day, so it's continued to climb. So at its highest point it was up over 1,000% from this point here, so that's a big multi-day runner on the market. So I'm looking at this for potential pullback and bounce. So this is its first red day here, and then technically here this is its first green day because it's moved above its previous day's close. So that is something to bear in mind, because ideally you want a clean retracement where they haven't bounced. But this bounce, it wasn't very big, it went from 650 to 730, so I still felt like this had room for a bigger bounce if it continued to pull back, which it did. Pull back again, and then this was the day that I played it for a bounce. So why I'm looking at it on this day is, A, it's a big runner, it's had a big pullback, it's not had a significant bounce yet. And if we go to the intraday on let's go to 15 minute, just going to look at where it's basing. So this is its day 1, and we can see that it's got support here around this 450 level. And then after hours on its day 1, it touches that level again and then continues to move off. Then it's retracing down, and can see that it's basing that same level really, so 460s on this day. So that's looking interesting now, because it's back to day 1 support level and it's had a nice retracement. But what also got my interest was this downtrend that it was in. You can see I've got 2 lines there, so it's a bit overlapping, but there's a yellow line there which is looking at the 15-minute downtrend. So I've got these nice touch points on the downtrend, and then can see pre-market on the day that I played it, could already see it was starting to break out of that downtrend. So that's telling me today is the day for the bounce. And then also if I go to the 1 minute time frame on that day, not as many touch points on this one, maybe on the 1 minute, but it can see that this is the downtrend on the 1 minute on the red line, and then it's also breaking out of that as well. So this was my idea to enter somewhere where I could risk off this level, which is just under the low of day 2, which is 461. So I'll put my risk at 459 just to allow a little bit of wiggle room there. So I really wanted to actually size up on this one the more I looked at it. I wanted to put the full $100 on this trade, which is kind of full size for me at the moment on my small $300 account while I'm learning to day trade. So the problem with this one, or not problem, but something to consider, is this green line here is red-green area, so where it's holding above the previous day's close, which is a good sign. It was holding above red-green for, well, all of pre-market. But I didn't know if this was going to come down and retest yesterday's low of day. So that's why I kind of took not as full size as I would have liked. So I put, I must have got in around here. I put on about $31, something like that. And I got in at 476. Really nice entry. And I was saving the rest because I thought this is probably going to come down a bit more. But as I thought about it, I thought, you know what, even 476 to risk off 459, that's a really tight risk anyway. So I could be putting on full size there. So I decided to add, took another position at 478, somewhere around here. And then so that was about $72 on the trade. So I still hadn't got to my 100, but I was still thinking perhaps it's going to come down. But in retrospect, this was such a good price to enter and risk off anyway. Even if it did come down, I could have afforded to, take full size up here. But anyway, got $72 on the trade, so not bad. So yeah, start to see that it was moving pre-market once I'd entered, which was nice to see. Didn't sell any here because I was expecting this to move a lot higher. And actually, I thought this was going to go a lot higher than it did. So my first sell was at 610. I actually missed the sell here right out the gate. I thought it was going to go higher, but I probably should have taken a little piece off there. So I had to sit through all of this on the 1 minute chart, thinking I'm still not taking any off yet, and it's having a decent bounce already. So that was quite uncomfortable. I thought I need to get something off. So it started to go up here. Took a piece off at 610, and then I wanted to sell some into this spike here, and I tried to. Because this was one of my PTs at 650, but it was such a quick move that I didn't get filled. So I didn't have an automatic order on it. I was just trying to, sell in the moment. So unfortunately, didn't get any of my position off there, which I definitely would have liked to have done. So then I took another piece off, 613, I think. Definitely could have done a bit better on my sells. And then I still had another piece on, but then I saw this big red candle and I decided to cut because I thought this really should be, I don't think it should be pulling back that much. So my last sell was at 572. So I ended up taking a 25% gain, which I'm more than happy with, but I was expecting this to go, where was my final PT on this? About 746. Roughly, or at least a 7. So I'm still thinking that this could continue to go on Monday. The reason why I've not got anything left on the trade is because I took a similar trade the other week, which I did do a video on, which was ISPC. This was the day I played it for a bounce, and as you can see, my profit targets were much higher. It pulled back on its bounce day, held after hours, and then had a massive bounce the following day, continued to go. And if we look at WLDS, it's still holding that level after hours. So this is what I mean about being in the flow of the market and trying to latch on to what's working. So I saw ISPC do a half okay bounce and then do a mega bounce the following day. WLDS, it wouldn't surprise me if it did a similar thing. I mean, it might not, it might just completely fail, but I'm just thinking because another one did, its bigger bounce on the next day. And this hasn't bounced to its full potential, in my opinion, but we'll see. I probably won't take it because it's not my setup, but just something to watch out for. I'll definitely take a look at it just to see what it's done, just for learning purposes. So yeah, that's the trade, WLDS first green day bounce. So I'm seeing some good progress at the moment, and as I touched on recently, I'm considering sizing up from my $300 account up to $1,000, but I'm still in two minds about when to do that. I think I would still like to see a little bit more growth, just to really cement that this is working, because I feel like I still need a bit more proof. But we'll just see how the next few weeks go and go from there. So thanks for watching, and catch you next Sunday.